Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Today, Michael Branson, my farrier, is trimming the mini cows. And the reason that I am videoing it is because we're also going to put some fly ear tags on. It is May 1. It is going to be close to 90 degrees in Santa Cruz. Although we haven't seen a lot of flies yet, we expect them. But we're not going to put them on their ears. Last year I had some problems with infection and the tags being ripped off ears. So this year we're going to try to use cable ties for electrical cable on their horns with one tag on each horn. And I'm going to turn the camera back on when we're ready. Are we ready to do it, Mike?
Yeah, I trimmed the feet, so we need to do the tags.
Yeah, okay. And so, I haven't found any videos on YouTube or Vimeo that says, okay, this is how you do it. As usual, I think we're being creative here. And I have talked to my farm and feed store. They suggested that should work, except that the ties should not be tightened at the base of the horns, because, in fact, that is how people get horns removed, by constricting them at the base, and then I think they fall off. But it sounds horrible to me. I'm really glad my Zebus have horns. We've learned how to protect ourselves against them using their horns on us. But in case predators come from the creek bank, and I'm pointing the camera there now where all those yucca trees are, they have at least some natural defense to protect themselves. So Anielle is going to get the ear tags. I had to buy a whole container full this time because I wasn't allowed to get just a few. So we're going to try to duct tape them closed and keep them fresh for later this year or next year.
You want me to put them on?
Yes, with the electric ties.
Okay. So you want them on the, where do you want them at?
Where your hand is on the left.
Okay, right at the base.
Not down at the base.
No, not like tight, but like
yeah.
Right here.
Yes, that's what I want. I'm guessing that will be pretty safe, that they won't get caught on anything because there'll be ties that are tight, but they won't destroy the horns.
Do you care which side you want, like back like this?
Maybe that way, yeah, to keep them away from the eye, yeah. We're also putting silence liquid on their backs to protect their bodies. But we're hoping these tags, we may need a pliers to tighten them. What do you think?
No, I can do it.
No, he thinks he can do it with his hand. And then, and I brought scissors.
I got nippers.
Okay, got nippers. There are scissors on the other side of the fence if you need them.
We're good. Cool.
Okay, let's put it on the other side too. I've got all these tags. I might as well use them. I anticipate the fly problem, in spite of the fact that I use thousands of fly predators starting already this month. I anticipate the fly problem will, as usual, be pesty. And we don't want to use fly masks on the Zebus if we can help it. Uh-oh, see? No, that's Susie. Susie's an estrus. She has scours. We know that she's an estrus because Rusty has been very hormonal in the last 2 or 3 days. Hey, you guys, before we let Susie go, let's hose off under her tail.
I'll bet, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go into their little inner corral there.
Yeah, okay.
Are we ready?
I think we're good, Sam.
Yeah, okay. So just go into where the cone is there.
We have to do the liquid.
Yeah, oh yes, please do the liquid. Now let's talk about what the rules are about the liquid. Did somebody read the back of the bottle? It's Silence liquid. I am sticking with Silence because I haven't had any reactions to it in the past. But I do understand that the pesky flies could become resistant to the Silence.
Yeah.
So we may have to switch to a different poison. I don't want to use the poisons, but in the past I've used fly masks, and it's not easy with horses or with cows, but it's even harder with cows. And I did bring rubber rubber gloves if you need it. Now it might turn out that these tags fall off quickly. If so, I will add to this video and tell you what we're going to try to do next to protect our mini Zebus here in West Santa Cruz from fly pests.
Done?
Done.
Yep. We put 4 milliliters on because it goes by weight.
Yes. Okay. She just poured it on her back. Let's see. Oh, there is a hose. Could Aniel and
Where?
can you take Suze over to that hose over there, and the spigot is right there, and close the gate. Just hose her off on her butt. As you can see, she's definitely got scours, and I'm hoping it's just the estrus. Scour. Okay. Okay, now here's Rusty. He's going to want to follow Suze. And Derek, you may want to be aware. If he turns to you, remember what I told you about bulls. Okay, he's crawling through to help. Yeah, Rusty definitely is making some bullish noises right now. He's worried that his lovely wife has been put on the other side of the fence. At least he has Sela here, which is Rusty and Susie's daughter. Just to review, I have given Rusty about 3 years ago a vasectomy so that he cannot impregnate his daughter. I don't want to inbreed. But he does still have his hormones, and he is in every other way a bull. Any problem getting the hose on? There, we got the water going. I should have planned ahead, but this is the first time we've done this, and in fact, I didn't expect Susie to have such scours, even if she is an estrus, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason for her scours. They'll be back here momentarily. You're watching Rusty and Sela. Be reasonable. And Michael uses his lariat around their horns to tether them when he's trimming them and doing other things like ear tags or silence or whatever. So right now they're still working on hosing off Sela. And she still has the lariat around her horns, but she's being okay. They browse and graze beyond that fence there where I'm showing you the camera, and beyond this fence here. They have plenty of places during the day to browse and graze. At night I close these gates because I am worried, in spite of their horns, in spite of their age, in spite of the fact that I have a bull to protect them, I am worried about the bobcats and the coyotes. Maybe even mountain lions, although I haven't seen them here. They are at UCSC, which is contiguous to my ranch. I just want to make sure that if something crosses that pasture there or my backyard, my cows have some enclosure that maybe will keep them safe. And they do have a cow pen that has propane in case it gets cold, has propane heat, thermostatically controlled. And here is Rusty. He's saying, "What are you guys doing?" Now I pay Michael to trim my Zebus every other month. I just don't want to take a chance that their hooves are going to get too long. He comes to trim my 3 Morgan horses every month. And then we observe whether the Zebus are okay, and then work on planning to do it next month with the Zebus. Okay, and here comes Michael. Now he's got his lariat in his hand, and he kind of knows how to rope. And he will choose one or the other to tether now. And here come my 2 helpers. I always make sure I have 2 helpers to help Mike Branson when we are planning on trimming the cows. And Derek, would you grab, wherever you can get one, a garbage can lid in case we need it?
Yeah, we'll need it for Rusty.
Yeah, we're going to need it for Rusty. We use it kind of as a shield. There it is. Okay, yeah, we have one hanging right there on the fence. Okay. Now, Mike, it's your call how you want to get him tethered up.
Do we do him or her? Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't think he's going to attack us any more than he did when you were doing Sue's. Ooh, he got Rusty. Good. Okay, Derek, you better be ready to come in if he needs it. Derek? No daydreaming when you're dealing with a bull. There you go.
I got a red shirt on too.
Yes, he has a red shirt on too. We just have the garbage can lids all over the place. Make some noise. Use them to protect us if Rusty gets bullish with his bighorns. Okay, next. And that post that Mike is tying to is filled with concrete, and it's 2 foot into concrete in the ground. Rope, that was beautiful roping, Mike. It's kind of tricky doing it when
How do you get both antlers over that hump?
the hump sometimes gets involved in the lariat. People don't think of that. Yeah. Several years ago when I first started roping my Zebus, I realized that. And that's when I learned to rope underhanded.
Yeah, you gotta go backwards like Hawaiian.
Yes, Houlihan, Houlihan loops, etc. But you did a beautiful job. Rusty looks calm now. Mike is going to trim him. You see, we don't have any kind of a chute for these tiny mini cows.
Just air.
The chute is air and lariat.
You're gonna want to shield my kidney over here. Yeah. Just right here. Just because if he turns, it just picks it right up.
Yeah. Now, you know, I've never seen Rusty kick, but don't underestimate his choice to kick.
Flexible enough to kick out here. He's fine. Just gotta let him. He'll pro hop and
Oh, he's got a little bit of scours too. Not as bad as Sue's though. I'll be watching them closely in the next few days and make sure it goes away. But you know, we yesterday had a 91 temperature here in Santa Cruz, and based on this morning, it looks like it's going to be at least in the high 80s or low 90s. And it's a sudden weather change. My Zebus like warmth, but maybe not so suddenly to change from low 70s, high 60s to high 80s, low 90s. Okay, now he's trimming. Michael has experience trimming maxi cows, so he just uses that same experience, the same know-how to trim my mini cows. On my Zebu Yahoo group, we often get posts from people who are new to mini Zebus and say, I can't find a farrier who knows how to trim.
do it.
I lucked out.
Yeah. Some people are afraid of them.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
a lot of shearers are not horse people.
Yes,
They're
yes,
afraid of horses.
yes. The first time we ever trimmed my mini Zebus, my farrier, who has since died from cancer, did trim them with some prior knowledge.
Lawrence is a cowboy.
But he was a cowboy, right?
He was a good, one heck of a rider too.
Yeah, I know he had horses. We're talking about Lawrence Hurst, a wonderful, wonderful man.
He used to do my horses when I was a little kid.
He trimmed Mike's horses when Mike was a kid. Good.
Strong. One hand suckers. Strong like bull. You gotta know where to cut or else it'll be a bloodbath.
Because you think maybe we should do it every 3 months instead of every 2 months?
No, I said you have to know where to cut.
Gotta know where to cut.
I don't know what you're doing. They'll bleed
Okay.
out.
It's not that they're too short. It's
No,
just that
you have to know where.
you have to know where to cut.
It's different than a horse.
Different than a horse.
Like dogs' toenails.
Yes,
The quick drops and comes in and out. And
absolutely. Yeah.
one time you might not be able to trim them as short as you did last time.
Yes, dog toenails will, if you cut into the quick with your little nail cutters, can bleed badly too. Okay, now the challenge is the back. Let me see if I can move over here. Ooh, nice.
What?
It's nice that he's not pulling away, you know, that burst of energy with that back leg. That's what he used to do to Lawrence.
I'm like not tall. He was way taller than me. I hold him low.
Yeah, I
I
see.
just kinda
If you
throw
hold
up
him low, says Michael, you,
Short young guy.
yeah, you're less likely to get that burst of energy, which is, let me loose, let me loose. Especially with the back legs. We even got that from the heifers back then when Lawrence first trimmed them. So Michael is kind of small and he's holding them really low.
I'm like Danny DeVito. It's like tall for Asia or South America.
Now, I think this is a valuable video for Zebu owners who are on the Yahoo group, trying to find ways to trim their Zebus
Without getting an antler in your kidney.
and to fly protect them. Good, good. Okay, time for
Put this on last.
ear tags. You know, the ear tags are not expensive. The tool that I bought last year,
Like more than the ear tag.
well, yes, was $28, and I still have it. And Mike did everything that he needed to do, but when he does Sela there, I will try to zoom in and show you how that ear tag actually pulled right out of the edge of her ear. And I wasn't there when it happened. I don't know when it happened. And it did bleed, and it might have been ouchy when it pulled out.
This one.
The tags themselves are not expensive. It's getting them on and getting them to stay on that are tricky. This is Sela. She's the one that has an ear with a notch.
Boom.
Okay, now putting him on the bull Rusty. He has thick horns, much longer horns. Derek, can you step back out of the way? Let me see if I can see what's going on. No, I can't, but that's okay. You get the idea. He's using electric cable ties to put the ear tags, not at the base, but close to the base. And we're doing one on each horn. I'm going to ask you to do this just so we don't have to rope him again. Can you go hose him off like you did Sue's? Because he's kind of scoury under his tail. And of course, if they're not tethered, it's hard to hose them off. Watch his body language. He doesn't seem to be kicky or anything. He's actually, oh, and we just did the silence on his back. For the first time today, this year, we also put fly masks on the horses. We have distributed our fly predators. And this year, because it was recommended by the manufacturer, I bought thousands more. Shadrach Farms is next to UCS, where there are maxi cows certain months of the year. And unfortunately, whoops, got her. She was about to run through. Unfortunately, the person who brings the cows is not required to use any kind of fly control. And I definitely notice when the cows are at UCSC, I definitely notice when the fly numbers increase tremendously. Okay, you're not able to watch, but yeah, Rusty's saying, don't hose me off, but he's got the lariat. Mike has the lariat on his head. We need a little longer hose because Rusty tried to run away. And he's still trying to run away. Okay. It's so warm today already that I'm sure the hose water must feel good. Yet he's concerned about being sprayed with the pressure of a hose when you have your finger in front of the hose. There we go. Okay. Off he goes. Now he gets to go hang out with Susie. And I just noticed that Sela, his daughter, is pooping. And it's not exactly scours, but it is kind of soft. Yeah, and just fell to the ground. Again, I'm telling you, I'm watching their body functions to make sure that they don't have anything else wrong besides estrus and maybe a sudden change of weather.
Let's go 3 for 3 here. Rope's all bent now.
I think you could walk right up to her and just put it around her.
I know, but it's no fun in that.
It's more fun, says Mike, to actually rope them.
One shot.
Now, is he going to be able to get her? She's running. Nope, missed that time. I think you didn't let go of a coil. Maybe.
Bounced off the hump.
Did it bounce off the hump? Okay, that's okay. We can show all of this. This is it's skillful and it's fun. It's fun to rope, but I always break away rope when I actually rope maxi cows. I think that time, you know, when you get really into roping, you forget sometimes to let loose a coil. I see that happen a lot.
On the last one and the loop closes.
Yeah. You got to give your rope enough length to get there. You might swing fine, you might step forward fine, which, by the way, should be on your left foot. But if you don't let go of that extra coil in your hand to reach it, especially when your cow is a long distance away. Now he's fishing it on. You guys don't see it. He's getting that loop is partly on, but you can do that. That is legal to fish it on.
All right.
Okay.
Love this forever.
Yeah. Fish on means you can kind of jerk the rope up and down until it falls into a legal catch.
I think if you're on a horse, it might be easier. You
Yeah.
kind of get over that hump and just...
Yeah, true.
On him. Just put it on her.
When they were younger, I used to rope them from horseback.
Yeah.
And that's when I could rope Rusty. That's before he got really hormonal.
Yeah. Let's put her over here now. Away from all that. Yeah. It's like
Okay.
It's like a war zone over there. Alright.
We always try to get loops around the horns because it's much better than having a net catch.
Yeah, they're dangerous. You gotta secure those suckers.
Oh, and she's pooping again.
More solid than the other horses. Or the other cows. It's more solid.
And it's her left ear, I'm going to try to zoom in for you, that has the notch. Yes, you probably can see it now.
I can bring her over if you want.
No, it's okay. Let's get the job done.
Alright, so you want to get that tail over there? Get the horns and I'll start nipping. She gets pretty sloppy. Yeah. You just take a knee. She'll pop back up. It's important to get the points off right here.
The points, it's important to
Points,
get.
you know,
Yeah.
Hook,
Yeah.
they get caught on stuff and then they get those whips.
Right. And Susie once got something caught and her toe separated. We had to keep it taped shut for several months.
Web tear.
Now, how about the little acorns or whatever you call them above? Do you trim those?
Sometimes, but the quick comes out like a dog's nail.
Uh-huh.
You're like, oh, that's nice and long. You barely nip it.
Yeah,
Like
barely
a
nip
tiny
it.
bit.
Right.
You just gotta let them do their thing.
Okay.
They'll bleed like no one, like nothing you ever seen. I don't know what the deal is with that, but it's like a dog's nail. Once they've grown out, the sensitive tissue in there grows out into the foot. I've wanted to nip them so many times. But
Yeah.
stay disciplined because they bleed.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, that's so long. If I just nip the tip, it's got to be dead, and it bleeds out there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can imagine if you cut your own nail close to the nail bed that it hurts. And it's like invasive.
Let it shed.
Does it shed?
Yeah, it'll kind of just die.
It kind of, and does it fall off?
Yeah.
I see. It falls off if you don't clip it. Or even if you do.
Yeah, be careful with those dew claws. No matter how much you want to trim it, sometimes
Yeah.
it just bleeds. Weird.
It's the same on dogs, those.
Not like a horse where they got real long feet. You can just trim all that off.
Right.
It's like the lamina inside there grows out to the tip of it.
Michael, before you leave, I want to explain to you what the cinch is. I mentioned it to you last time. It's advertised now on RFD for laminated horses.
Right.
I even have the show still recorded if you want to see it, but I'm going to tell you my experience with it and what I observed on the show. It is a small business now, and they had a whole show, I think it was Rick Lamb, about the cinch. Or Equestrian Nation, I'm not sure. From my experience, and I had a laminated horse for 17 years, and Lawrence tried to help me with her. He was using a cinch-like device back then, and it didn't work. Maybe they're working better, or maybe if you catch it soon enough, it will work. CINCH for laminated horses. By the way, cows can become laminitic. So I'm very, very careful with all my livestock on the potential causes of laminitis. And you know, oftentimes they don't know what caused it. A cutting horse, a very valuable cutting horse, recently died. And the owner was interviewed on RFD TV, and he said, we had no idea what caused it. And they couldn't keep it sound. And when Lawrence was alive, he and I went to a conference in Monterey with many, many experts in the field. Researchers, vets, farriers. And after spending the whole day at the conference listening to what they knew at that time about laminitis, when I left, the last thing I did was ask the panel, so what am I taking home with me? What information am I taking home with me that's important today? And they said, buy a pair of ice boots and have them on hand.
So the Indians used to do these.
Yeah. So,
in a cold creek overnight with a rope.
right. You know, the Indians, the feral horses, they find a cold creek, but it has to be timely. Okay, now her ear tags. I even use the ice boots if I have an unknown cause for lameness or ouchiness, because it can't hurt. And I have a refrigerator that I keep ice in for emergency use. Okay, tag. Not too close to the base. Remember, that's what they warned me at Westside Farm and Feed.
The hair comes up
Yeah. Okay.
2 inches.
Okay, the hair comes up 2 inches, so he's avoiding that. Yes, good. Okay, now clip.
My nippers are right there.
Oh, and the silence. Clip and the silence. Clip the cable ties and do the silence. Pour on. There's actually some kind of a feed supplement that you're supposed to be able to give to cattle for fly control. But when I asked my vet about it, Kristen Wallace, she's a wonderful vet, she said that she wouldn't recommend it for my herd of 3 of mini cows. Yeah, I think she's not poopy, right?
Okay.
So, okay. Are you ready with the garbage can lid, Derek? Just in case. Yeah, always be aware. Where is it if Rusty is coming in? Okay, good. Michael, what is the name of the laminitic boot that you keep in your truck in case of laminitis?
The soft ride boots?
Nah, it was something else, and
Oh, the Stewart clog.
Stewart clogs,
Yeah,
yes.
use the Stewart clog.
Yeah. You know, I looked them up on Google after you last told me about them and kind of read about them. And you showed it to me. What's your experience with those?
Pretty much what happens is when the hoof gets too far out in front of the point of the coffin bone, they work in opposite directions, and the hoof will go up and the bone goes down. So
Yeah.
the clog, you'll set it back behind the toe at the point of breakover.
Yes.
So they break over where they're supposed to instead of the hoof leveraging up, and it's a big rubber shoe they sit on, and it's got a big rocker toe right at the point of the coffin bone. So instead of the toe keep leveraging up, they break over through their feet.
Okay. And you have good experience with that to help?
I have probably like 90% experience where you
That.
put them, set the clog back, screw them on.
Yeah.
You drill and screw them on because it hurts the foot to hammer.
Yeah.
Then you rasp that toe
Yeah.
back, and then the hoof grows. You keep setting the clog back.
The same clog?
No, I use different ones.
Yeah.
I can reset it once,
Okay.
but it takes a year for a hoof capsule to grow out.
Yeah.
So you keep setting that back until they grow a new hoof capsule. Once that new hoof grows in, they have a new foot.
Okay. The 10% that is not success story, what happened there?
I would say it's because the horse kept getting so laminitic, like people kept it fat.
Yeah.
The vet says this horse is way too fat. You're giving him way too many treats. So although I'm trying to prevent the actual foundering motion,
Yes.
he's just so laminitic because he's just getting
Yeah.
they're just stuffing him with grain still. They won't. Oh, he looks thin. Well, he's gonna die if he's
Yeah. Okay, I use Heiro, Heiro, and there's some research, but not definitive. But I'll tell you, since I started using it, and Lawrence told me, you know, if it works, don't stop it. I get it delivered every month, and I think that it's has helped because I haven't had a laminitic episode since then. And I do allow my horses to graze on my irrigated pastures, but I don't use grain. Yeah, I use enriched 32 mixed with wetted down beet pulp that has no molasses. And they love it with the hay row. It's a powder every day. And they love it. They come a running when we put it out.
Y'all bet.
And so far, so good. Okay, and that's all for today. Thank you, team. Well, you really need a team when you do this kind of thing and do it right. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.